Welcome to the Flaming Puck podcast with me, your host, Ian the Dynamo Kelly, once again joined by my two big red friends, the Sea of Red, that is, Mr. Dylan Simpson and Chris Ruback. Guys,
Whoop, whoop.
how are we today?
Fucking wonderful.
Well, it's Friday, right? So
You're looking wonderful.
we're pretty excited. I mean,
How are
I
you
feel
doing?
wonderful. I finally got a shave, feeling a bit better. You know, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I'm optimistic about next season. Yeah, I'm just in a good mood. Cheers.
Great.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Hell yeah, you know what? I can drink to that. There we go.
Cheers.
So today we've got something, as always, we've always got something a little bit different here on the Flaming Puck podcast. And today, Dylan, you decided that we would get some fans' questions in. So we'd start getting people involved, people that listen to the show, people that are the heart and soul of the show, so to speak. And we thought it would be a good idea to start the show out today and maybe look at some of those questions, and we can kind of delve into them and maybe dissect these questions and call people out if they're shit.
But that
one hot take here, but
They're not shit.
it comes with a pretty good question. So,
No, they're not shit. We love you guys.
would you like me to start this then?
do it.
Yeah,
You've got the great list.
All right. Well, actually, all four of these people I know listen to us very often, so we appreciate the support and whenever we do fan integration, if that's what you want to call it, we'll always appreciate any comments and thoughts and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So
A couple of regular names there that I saw, was great.
Yeah.
yeah,
see them
couple
coming
of
back.
names.
Yep.
So first from Drew Persram, I don't know how to say the last name, but Drew, he does listen to us all the time. He's private messaged me about some of our takes quite a few times, but he asks, what is it about Mangiapane's line mates that made the chemistry so good in the World Championships? So I'll let you guys take that one.
Holy.
Chris, you can take this one first while I try and really think about it, because
I mean, I don't know. Like they all worked. They worked hard in corners. They worked hard.
yeah.
You know, they obviously weren't a physical line, but they all just worked. They're always moving,
I think with
which is one thing
Mangiapane,
that Mangiapane doesn't like to be sitting, right? He likes to be moving at all times.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I was thinking that it's kind of like they kind of knew Mangiapane's kind of strengths and allowed him to kind of,
Yeah.
go into the pockets that he needed to be in,
Yeah.
and kind of allowed him to kind of work his magic in its own way. And that's kind of what I feel from an outsider watching the tournament, even though I was, I'm always going to be Team Canada. But I felt
Until such day as Ireland gets in there.
I'm still going to be Team Canada unless I'm playing for Team Ireland. Then that's a different story,
Right?
Then I'll
happen.
command Japan up then.
Yeah, right. You keep your head up, boy.
What are you watching?
I mean, I
Chris will
honestly
be
think
rooting
one
for
of-
me in that one.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I do.
3/4 defense base will be saying it's dirty. I'll be sitting there going, keep your head up. That's
Yeah,
just,
keep your
you
head
got to
up.
keep your head up.
Keep your head up, son. No, I think Mangiapane was allowed to, they allowed him to play to his strengths, and I think the fact that he was one of the more skilled players and is one of the more skilled players, I think they did seem to have a very, very good chemistry, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I could see
They did.
You know what I mean?
What one of the things that I kind of noticed was it's a very good question, right? Because it's I mean, not saying it was night and day, but I mean, Team Canada was night and day from when Andrew started playing. I mean, that's definitely Andrew's game. He's fast. He's like he just loves to work. He
hustles, man. He hustles. Yeah.
He's always working. But the one thing that really kind of caught my attention was the passing was on point.
Oh yeah,
which is something that Calgary has suffered from.
Yeah.
For a decade.
Except for
Tanev.
Except for Tanev.
True. Yeah. But I mean, like that's one thing I watch the games. I watch every game, and that's one of my takeaways. Almost every single game is passes behind guys, stretch passes in front of them. And, like there's no real gel, right?
I'd agree.
Yeah, it's not there.
Agree with that. Yeah.
So I think that has a big part of it. And then they always had somebody in front of the net.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, and that's so important, and that's another thing Calgary needs to do more. Like just having Lucic do it, and like Tkachuk and Monahan both used to do it, but for some reason Monahan doesn't. Well, I guess because he's trying to wrestle on the boards now, and Tkachuk is for some reason at the side trying to go in between his legs now. But
or falling on his ass or hitting people with his ass.
But the way I look at it, my thought on that whole why Mangiapane's line mates worked so well, and I'm trying to say this without being negative about the World Championships, because it was a fantastic tournament and it was a lot of fun to watch, and it always is. But again, I know I said this last episode, but there was one NHL player on the silver medal team. Right. And Adam Henrique has how many NHL games? Connor Brown has quite a few to himself, and Mangiapane has quite a few to himself. So to me, what worked with them is their experience at professional hockey. And that made them be like the three of them together be able to dominate that tournament.
Well, here's a question. There's a question within the question then. Where does this take, what confidence level and what confidence in general does Mangiapane take into the next season with that? For me, I think it's actually astronomical for him.
Well, let's all hope that he reaches the expectations that everybody seems to have set for him.
Well, I agree there. I agree there. I think at most, I think you said before, at most, Dylan, I think we can expect, a good second line winger.
That's his ceiling to me.
And that's a good thing.
There's nothing wrong with that either.
Nothing.
Absolutely not. He is already a good second line winger.
Yeah.
But this could raise him to be a fantastic second line winger. I don't
20
think
goals a season.
He's a first line winger though.
I don't think 20 goals a season is out of the question for someone like him. I mean, if that was his aim.
Well, no, he had 18 last year in 56 games.
Exactly. But I mean, consistently at second line. Yeah.
I think he will, right? I mean, the year before he had 17 and 68 games, so like he hasn't played a full season. He has not played 82 games yet. So I mean, obviously his first season, he was, he was shy. He was getting into it. He didn't have the minutes either. Like he was playing around.
He played really well. 10 minutes. It was Doc and Garnet Hathaway he played with that season.
True.
And that was a really, really effective. That was an elite fourth line, I'd say.
Yeah.
He's a Sutter player though, right? He's definitely a Sutter player. He's kind of, I think his development, for me personally, guys, you can call me out on this one if you want. I think his development has taken a step forward above Dubé's development. And I think...
No, I agree. I agree. I'm a huge Dubé fan.
Me too.
But I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and he's only 25, right?
He's not old.
And that's not saying Dubé's going to come out and do better.
That could happen, of course. I mean, I would project Dubé, if he wants, he can be a 30-plus goal player without a shadow of doubt.
He was about an inch on his shot away, like not even an inch on his shot away from probably getting 25 goals in 50 whatever he played. Like he hit so many posts. If he just tweaked it a little bit, he's so close, and he's got the speed. But Mangiapane is already, I think Mangiapane's already close, further along we'll go with than Dubé.
Yeah, I think he's got at the moment. I think he's got a better hockey IQ. I think his hockey brain is working
I
a
think
little
Dubé
bit.
has a higher ceiling though.
Yeah, his hockey brain is working more in sync with his skating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it comes down to I honestly think Dubé has more natural skill.
Yes.
Mangiapane just works his ass off.
Yeah, and you know what? Hard work
and it works
off,
for him.
You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's get on to the next question.
Yeah.
This one's from Greg, the winner of our Flames flag competition.
Yeah.
We really get a hold of.
Is he back? Is he back in town? I got to get him that flag. I mean, it's
I
here.
talked to him a couple days ago. He actually just went back to Fort McMurray to work, but he's back in 2 weeks, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Tell him to reach out to me. I'll meet up with him.
Yeah, I will for sure.
Tell him to make sure he's got a Flames jersey on too.
Yeah, no Avs jersey meetup. So it could be. I don't want the Mounties coming at my fucking door over here in Ireland. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Our roads are too small for horses. Even though there's plenty of them outside.
Greg asks, will the Flames be handcuffed by players needing new contracts? I'm guessing he means in the next couple of years. Or will they be able to sign some team-friendly deals possibly?
This is just, you know,
and
what?
This we'll start with Kachuk, and I'll start on this one because
please do.
I think it's like 9.2 or something like that is the minimum we can re-sign him for, and that's going to be handcuffing if we still have him. But that's, I mean, that's a handcuffing contract.
It's a terrible contract that Brad did there. It really is a terrible one.
Yeah.
The way it was back end loaded like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, do we think that Kachuk is going to hold us up for more? I don't think so. I think he's going to be happy to take that deal, right? You know, I don't think he's going to sit there like Marner and Nylander or whatever, like Nylander did for half a fucking season. Like I think Kachuk wants to play hockey. So.
I don't think his dad would let him do it, to be honest.
What do you mean?
Be a dickhead and hold out, or
no.
try and negotiate for that. I want 11 mil.
No, I don't.
First of all, Chucky, you need to prove it because last year was abysmal.
But I think he knows that. I think we've got him in the perfect time.
He does know it exactly. So he knows it. He knows he needs to produce next year to even be in the conversation to be a 9.5, let alone exceeding the 10% raise he's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that one necessarily handcuffs us per se. No, I think there's Monahan, which I do want to get into more with our segment later on. 625.
625. Sorry, 625.
625 or 615.
Who scores 25 to 30 goals most seasons. That's not bad. It really
no,
isn't.
and I agree. My only take on that, and I'll and I'm kind of stealing away from what we want to follow up with afterwards, but he's lost the number one role, and in my opinion, and anybody can message me, they can say whatever they want to me. I'm pretty thick-skinned here. Michael Backlund is 100% a better center. Than Sean Monahan.
Without a doubt. They had to put Elias Lindholm on the wing because Monahan can only win faceoffs half the time. He can only win the faceoffs that are on one side of the ice. So they had to put. And don't get me wrong, the Monahan Lindholm Gaudreau line worked so well that year.
That was magic, right? In 2019.
That's because Monahan sucks at faceoffs.
Yeah. Backlund plays a superior 200-foot game. He can play on the power play. He can play in the penalty kill, even though they had Sean in that role a bit last year. I mean, he wasn't terrible at it.
I don't think he was bad at it, to be honest, but he's no bad when it comes to 200-foot play.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, in my opinion, as the team sits right now without making any additions, Lindholm, Backlund, Monahan are your three centers in that order.
Yeah.
So
675 at the third center is not.
That's right. It's too much, and if he wants more than that, sorry, he's going to be out.
And it's even questionable. I mean, look, should we be paying a third line forward, that amount of money? as well. You know, that's why he's disposable. But I mean, even Lindholm, as good as he is, you know, we could at
Could have
best.
better.
He's probably at best he's probably a second line center as well. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
First line winger, second line center.
Yeah.
First line special teams, both special.
Yes. So that's. I mean, look, you will have people debate that with you, Chris, whether Backlund.
Well, it's a good debate, right?
It is a great debate because for me,
Monahan has had more goals. Obviously, I get that. He's got more points, more flashy.
Well, for me,
because he plays on the top line with Johnny Gaudreau, right?
For me personally, I would have Monahan ahead of Backlund. Personally, that's just my opinion. I don't think
he has
Backlund,
more finish.
I mean, for me, I'm looking at the goals. I'm looking at Backlund as well, and Backlund is not on. You know, he's not on a.
No, I think he's had a couple of 20-goal seasons.
He's on some big money too, though, right? And he's not producing the goods either. So,
but he's also that's always playing against McDavid and McKinnon.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say.
But I think
the role of that second line guy is to shut down the other team's top line. And for the most part, Backlund is pretty damn good at it. He's damn good at it when it comes to McDavid.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Then there's we protect Monahan when it comes to playing against those top lines, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I agree.
We don't put them up. So I mean, you're right. I mean, as far as point production,
5 is too much.
Yeah, 100%.
But at the same time, we'd all sit here and defend that Lucic, 5, whatever he's at, is a little bit more than he's worth, but we're willing to pay it because of the intangibles that he brings.
That's right.
None of that shit.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. He's a proven leader. You know, he sticks up for his teammates. I mean, he'll kick the shit out of anybody that wants to.
Legitimately,
he doesn't. He doesn't give a damn, right? And there's more to hockey than those goals, and that's why I honestly think that Sean, in my opinion, is the third guy.
I would be willing to let Monahan go this year. If we're talking about to answer that question, the first looks. Sorry guys, I have a little bit of hay fever, so you probably saw me blow my nose there and probably hear me a little bit backed up. But so I think with Monahan, I'm in agreement with you boys. I think it's probably time to cut the cord as well. For him too, he can probably go and rejuvenate his career somewhere else too. But I do believe, and plus, he's the more tangible asset because who is going to want to take Backlund on a $5.2 million contract at his age, right?
And Backlund has modified trade protection, I believe.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, I think Darryl Sutter loves both of them. I think he does like Monahan. I think he loves Backlund. I think if he had to choose between the two, I think he would pick Backlund. For the reasons that you guys have mentioned, especially with what he brings on the second line. I think this kind of argument that certain Flames podcasts bring up, I'm not going to mention names because we're not that petty, but a lot of them just kind of go into the wilderness then and do nothing for a while. They're like, oh, I love this guy. But then they're like, the first guy that they bring up is the guy that they claim to love, but it's quite clear that they don't. Yeah. It's so easy to blame Lucic on that contract all the time and go, oh, yeah, if we could just get rid of that Lucic contract, oh, it'd be so great. Oh, wouldn't that be great? And you're like...
But then we have nothing on the third line that's third line-ish.
Yeah, right. And not only that, you forget that he was one of our best players this year. One of the only players that actually showed some fucking backbone and leadership and actual... And one guy that actually put his own ass on the line and said, look, I'll actually waive my no trade clause, for the expansion draft. Like, I didn't see Giordano do that, Mr. fucking Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? I didn't see, so it's...
Well, let's hold up on that because we don't know if Gio is going to do that or not still.
Yeah, well, he hasn't done it. That's the difference. And he is the captain. And I haven't seen him as a captain. step up once this season in
No,
any way, shape, or form.
I agree with that. I think he is no longer captain material.
Exactly, and I think Lucic, without a shadow of a doubt, is captain material, especially in a Sutter system. I think without a shadow of a doubt, if Sutter gave him the C next year, I don't think anybody could give out about that.
Gio doesn't have a no movement clause either, right? He doesn't have to waive shit.
No, he doesn't. But he's not willing to either because he knows that he's just there to milk as much money as he can.
He just has a modified no trade.
Yeah.
Well,
so I mean, like he doesn't even have to say. If Brad decides not to protect him, he's not protected.
Good.
That's just it.
So it's
So back to Greg's question.
Yeah.
Are we seeing any of our top players take team friendly deals in the next couple of years?
So that's the interesting one for me. Obviously the biggest one that everybody's talking about right now is Johnny Gaudreau this summer.
Yeah.
What's that going to look like? Is there an extension in place that's possible? Is he gonna keep within the 7.5 realm?
8
to
max,
stay in Calgary to play with the players he's been playing with, or is he not? Like, if he's not signing that contract this year, he's gone next season. So that's 7.75 off the books. So no, I don't honestly think that we're in that much cap trouble.
I don't either. I don't think we're handcuffed. I think that the Tkachuk contract could handcuff us if he doesn't return to form, but he's also a very young man and has
exactly
so much.
Yeah, if he earns that money, then I don't give a shit. That's not handcuffing.
Dude, okay, let me ask you guys a question then. Right, so we've got, in terms of the moves that Brad has made, obviously with certain pieces out, there should be like an 8 million gap there. Okay, so that 8 million automatically covers pretty much a chunk of that potential Tkachuk deal, right? But just take that off the table for the moment, and we look with I suppose a positive attitude at next season.
Right.
What for you guys, in terms of numbers now, warrants that Chucky deal? And like, is it 80 points?
Like if he wasn't a restricted free agent, if we could just give him a number, what we think he's worth.
Yeah. Just say, for example, the minimum is that 9+ million contract. Okay.
The minimum is not okay, because I wouldn't give him that. Like, if he was an unrestricted free agent, I wouldn't give him 9 right now.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
But dealing with what we have now at the moment, what would warrant that contract for you guys?
Oh, you mean what? Like, as far as him stepping up?
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, okay. A little sidetracked here, but I'm interested to see what happens when there's fans back in the dome.
Yeah.
Because I think that's, again, this is just a thought. This is not definitely what's going on.
But he feeds off the crowd, doesn't he? Without a shadow of a doubt.
Always has. Yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah, and I think
he's a pro wrestler. Like he definitely.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that just him getting back to that pesky game, that the penalty drawing pesky shit that everybody hates to play against, and most teams don't have that guy who's a first or second line quality forward who actually does those things. And that's how you win cups. That's how you win rounds. That's how you get to the playoffs. That's how you play in games that matter, is with guys who know how to do that. And I think that if he can get back to that, and I honestly think that in the first 10 games, 15 games of next year, we'll see if he can get back to that, because I think it's in his DNA. You look at the way his dad played, you look at the way his brother played, you look at the way he played in his first 4 years or whatever. It's in his DNA, man.
Yeah, we need less of the bullshit with the likes of Gio and players like him telling them to calm down.
Whoever telling him to be quiet. If that is so true, we don't know. But it's been reported a few times, and whatever it is that, whether it's that or an injury or just him not being confident or whatever.
When it comes from Elliott, I'm pretty much taking it to the bank. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for the most part.
He's pretty reliable, right? Yeah. I mean, he needs to get back to his game, 100%. Last year he played meh.
But in points numbers, but you know what? The people fail to remember as well. In those last few games, I mean, that last Oilers game, you were starting to see that Chucky again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He was getting in fights again. He was going, fuck this shit. I don't care. I'm doing what I do. Yeah. This is my natural game.
Well, and that's what he needs to do.
Yeah. That's exactly how he should play.
Yeah.
If he wants to earn his $9 million at the end of his contract, which he is an RFA at the end, 25 to 30 goals is a minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum.
I would say 80 points. I would say 80 points is a minimum.
Sure.
80.
Yeah. Everybody talks about him being the next captain and the next leader.
80 plus points has got to be a minimum.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I was watching a video earlier of the London Knights with him and Marner and Dvorak when they won the Memorial Cup. He played that game. And the thing is if you play that game, like, that is the game that won him the job. That is the type of game that won him, the draft position spot.
Yeah.
That is why we like him. That is why management likes him. So he's got to get back to that. And that's all there is to that.
Yeah, I agree. I could not agree more.
Shall we go with some more questions here? We got two more. One of these is quite long. So Ash asks, could the Flames make an offer to Ovechkin, who's an unrestricted free agent, that he couldn't refuse?
I like this.
And also, well, he asked kind of like three questions here. He said, should we give the team as it is another shot under Sutter, or move Monahan and go after some guys like Barry and Nugent Hopkins? I don't know why he named those two out of everyone, but
yeah, I don't like those last two names. I like the first name. I'll take this one. I thought about this for a while, just as a fantasy hockey, fan.
Mm-hmm.
The Ovechkin thing, I think it's he's that kind of player. Look, I mean, you're talking about Ovechkin and Crosby as probably being the two greatest of the last, decade, 10, 20 years maybe?
I'm going with Ovechkin being the best goal scorer of the last 35 years.
Sure. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I would agree.
That makes sense.
Agree.
What do the Flames need?
Goal scorers. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna answer Ash's question with some respect here and kind of give us a hypothetical scenario as to how that could possibly happen. I think Ovechkin would suit a Sutter system without a shadow of a doubt. I think Ovechkin would probably love Sutter. I think Sutter would love Ovechkin without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, Ovechkin plays a hard physical game.
Yep.
6'3", 220 something, I think.
Good Lord, he's a big motherfucker, yeah.
Yeah, he's a big man.
He's a big unit.
He's fucking 40, 50 goals.
He's a big hoss. The cold wouldn't bother him. He's a fucking big Russian. That's not going to be an issue. I think Ovechkin is somebody that would be absolutely gettable if the Flames management were to show some ambition, for sure. I think that could be we could definitely put our hat in there. I think the only way that happens, though, when we're talking about salary cap, is if someone like a Johnny goes. If we know for a fact that Johnny, that's where I was going with this. I think if Johnny goes and we know that Johnny is gone, he's on the left wing. I think absolutely you want to replace a Johnny Hockey with.
But I mean,
somebody.
Well, he would have to be traded before the season started, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The prospect of having Ovechkin being fed by a playmaker like Gaudreau. think
Well,
about.
then, yeah.
So-
but then you do it the opposite way. Then, yeah, exactly. You do it the opposite way. Then you get rid of your Monahans. You could possibly. I mean, now you're questioning. You know, people are going to start asking me like if we need to get rid of number 17 and we bring in a number 8. That's like.
Well, I'd be okay with that.
Well, I don't know.
I don't get me wrong. I love Lucic and I love what he brings, but
Yeah, but this is
60,
Ovechkin. You know what I mean? You're
60
talking
goals,
about a
40 goals.
generational. You're talking about a generational talent here, and
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but-
I'm gonna start with he's going back to fucking Washington. There's
100%.
no
without a
chance
shadow of a doubt,
he's going
without a shadow of a
anywhere
doubt,
at Washington.
that's
in
our
my-
fantasy hockey play out of the way.
Yeah. But should he reach unrestricted free agency? Yes.
Yeah,
If
without a
you're
shadow of a doubt.
GM and your team is not currently rebuilding, even if your team is currently rebuilding, say you were rebuilding, you get Ovechkin, you sell him at the deadline, you got 2 first-round picks.
Yep. Yep.
You know,
If I was Ovechkin personally, I would probably test the free agent market, definitely. You know, just
has he not already come out and said that he's not doing that? That he is only
I'm
signing
not
with
sure. I think
Washington
he's.
at this point.
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's been reported. I don't know if he's said it, but I'm pretty sure he's. I think he said the only, like maybe last year at some point, he said the only way he's going anywhere is if it's Russia.
Right.
And he wants to finish his career in the KHL.
you gotta love that loyalty,
He
though.
does.
Right?
He does. And he's what, 35 right now, right? So like what I think so there's 2 questions there. A, is he gonna move away from Washington, which I
No,
highly
no.
doubt. Second one is what kind of contract is he gonna be looking for? He's coming off
looking-
10 mil.
Crazy
He's
money.
Right.
He's looking for
Yeah.
on the
If-
short. It's a 1 year, 2 year. I'd say he's looking for at least 10. If it's longer than that, probably looking for like 8.5.
Yeah. And Calgary has 14.5 in cap space available to them as it sits right now for next year. So the other thing that I truly will think will come into his thinking is if Ovechkin is leaving Washington, he either wants to win a cup or go somewhere that he loves.
Or
Calgary's not that.
somewhere with somebody who's better than Backstrom at feeding him the puck because he wants to break that Gretzky record.
Yeah,
Sure.
like you could see
Which could be Johnny, right? Could be Johnny.
Yeah,
Is
but
Johnny better than? I mean, I think he is right now. Yeah, but maybe not a couple years ago. But I think right now Johnny is probably a better playmaker and speedier than
Backstrom.
Backstrom.
Yeah.
But
I think if he went anywhere, it would be someone like a Golden Knights or something like that. You know what I mean? And that's if.
yeah,
Another thing I would like to just throw out, and not trying to discredit the question. The question is a good question.
It is a great question.
He's one of the the biggest names in the NHL, and if he goes to the market, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. But does Calgary really need to bring somebody in that's at the tail end of their career? How many times have we done that?
Well, if you can
just
get
watch
100 points a
to
season,
watch
though,
it
yeah.
fail, right? To watch it fail,
I
like
think that's a little bit different though
Yeah.
because
he still has
nobody's
game left. For sure.
seeing Ovechkin slow down physically, skating.
True.
If anything, he's getting better at playing physical and skating.
Yeah, that's fair.
At playing defense, and I'm not sure, but he might be about the same, maybe a little less good at scoring goals. So like only 40 goals. Oh no.
Dude,
But-
it's the same with Crosby for me. I mean, in my opinion, I think they are the two best. You know what I mean? Crosby doesn't slow down either. I mean, like some of the plays that Crosby made, like even in the first round of the playoff series, just a little sleight of hand that he makes. The two guys are just geniuses.
Well, yeah.
And,
Out of those 2 guys, you've got the greatest goal scorer of a generation, as well as the greatest hockey player from a generation.
yes.
The best overall hockey player of
Sidney Crosby.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
David showed up,
Yeah.
and like a couple of years into McDavid's career.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but
And
yeah, great question, Ash.
I'm
Great
still
question.
on the Crosby's a better actual player. Than
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Fence, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Second part of the question, Barry and Nugent Hopkins. I'm just gonna sit back and listen.
Hey, I'm just gonna say, fuck off.
no and fucking no.
Yeah.
No, I can't even say that. I don't mind Nuge. I really don't. But I don't want.
I do.
I find him to be kind of whiny. Doesn't play a physical game. We just don't need it.
It's gonna be like Monahan 2.0 at some point.
That's
right.
Just, if we're moving Monahan and we expect to get better, why are we bringing in a person who has similar stat lines to Monahan?
It's the same fucking thing, dude.
A little bit older and is gonna want $8 million plus.
Yeah.
Like all we're doing is we're not.
Yeah, you know what? You're actually getting rid of somebody that I like in a person, as in Monahan. I like Monahan. Yeah. You're getting me to get rid of Monahan to give
I bought his stuffy.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
to bring this jabroni in from the
I have
Oilers.
one of these of Monahan too, a signed one. I just never hang it up.
Yeah, I mean, no, hell no. I mean, I have a hard time with getting rid of Monahan as it is. I've accepted it, but I have a hard time with it. Yeah. And I'm certainly not bringing a Nugent Hopkins in for that. No.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to bring a third liner in, like I mentioned on the previous show, I want to bring a Getzlaf in for a year on a decent contract. You know what I mean? Just to help, rather than a Nugent Hopkins. Less money, experience, somebody that's going to have a bit more fight and a backbone in them. So
I think Nugent is better than a third liner. He plays a more complete game, arguably, than Monahan. But
no, I understand. But you guys mentioned that it's a third line at the moment is Monahan, right?
Yeah.
So if we're bringing a third liner, well, then give me Getzlaf.
He's rumored to want, a raise off of what he makes, and I don't have up what he makes. Chris, you got that for us?
On cap. Give me a sec.
But I think he wants like 8+, and that's just not acceptable to me for what Ryan Nugent Hopkins brings to a team.
That makes Chucky's $9 million contract plus sound good, right?
Really good.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna go out and say Barry. We already got him. We had him for half a season. His name's Eric Gustafson. Power play specialist, useless at everything else. That was a really good fucking move.
There's two guys from the Flyers that I would be looking at as centers that I wouldn't mind taking in if it was possible. Frost, I know, has 1 year left on his contract. I know you're a big fan of him, Dylan.
I like Frost, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Nolan Patrick, and he wants out. And he has been linked,
but he's also done nothing to prove.
No, I know, but he's been linked heavily to
hurt.
He's been linked to the Flames in recent weeks, and I don't know. I think that kid has a lot of potential, though.
There are other players from other teams. I think that one thing that Ash is asking here is, should we give the team another shot under Sutter? How it is? I think we need to. This is part of the next segment as well, but I think we need to shake up the core. If that's Monahan, good. If that's Gaudreau, good. If that's Gio, good. If that's Backlund, I'll be a little upset, but whatever.
Yeah.
Something needs to give.
Personally, Gio would be my
players I want.
If it was my choice, as you know, it would be Gio.
Very.
Personally, it would be Gio for me.
I want Barry, the player that he was projected to be, not Barry the player.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have zero use for Barry. Not a single use.
Like the player Nugent Hopkins was
100%.
Not
a giant disappointing career. I mean, obviously going to Edmonton will do that to you, but it's a giant disappointment. I have no time for either one of those guys.
Chris, we were talking off air, myself and Dylan. It always seems to be Lucic. It's like, it's Lucic's fault it's Lucic's fault that we've, if we can get rid of that contract, then we're on track.
Can we like Photoshop Lucic's dick right next to your mouth, or?
All right.
No, but you can Photoshop my fist right next to your mouth. Then those pearly whites wouldn't be looking so nice then.
Cheers.
No, but the reason I was saying that was nobody ever talks about fucking Gio's contract. It's fucking humongous. And literally
everybody talks about Gio's contract. What are you talking about? That was a comparison that every contract that we signed in the last 5 years was.
Yeah, but you've got a literal slug on your team wearing a C, and not the Calgary Flames C, the C. Yeah. And like bringing the defense down around. I mean, good Lord, have you never seen a decline like fucking Anderson when he plays alongside this absolute sloth?
Yeah.
Of a former great. Leave my Lucic alone and start talking about this former legend, this baldy conscience prick. Fucking Giordano. Come on.
Okay.
Well,
he hasn't stepped up.
So what's his contract?
He hasn't stepped up for one of his teammates in 2 years, and yet he's the captain.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Ask my asshole. Come on.
His on ice leadership has just fallen off the map.
He's actually. Do you know what he is? He's basically just there hemorrhaging money into his bank account from this team on past glories, and that's what I feel.
I don't know if you. I always bring this up with Giordano.
Hey, pass the puck to me, and I'll shoot from long range. It's gonna be great.
Mitch Marner gets all this flack this year for shooting the puck over the glass in the playoffs.
Right.
You guys remember that Dallas series a couple years ago?
Oh, yes, I do. And he flipped it over in the last play.
Like it was several times he did that.
Every time he's a fucking bum. He's a bum. If Mickey was there on the side of get up, you bum. Get up, you bum. That's what he is. He's a bum. Get up, you bum, Rocky. Come on, Rocky.
Okay, we need to find a way to incorporate that into every episode.
Yeah,
put it on
your Mickey. It's got to be part of your. It's got to be part of your thing.
Well,
man.
That's what he is.
That was impressive.
Was a bum. Like now, he's a bum getting $7 million a year just to take a slap shot from the rest of. That's literally what he does.
And then not be able to get back. Yeah,
and not be able to get back. Then and then bring down potential prospects like fucking Rasmus Anderson.
He can get back. He just dives. He just dives at their ankles, right? He gets back, trips him into the goalie.
So, last question here from Ted, who watches all of our podcasts and is, I'm pretty sure he's always the first comment on our YouTube videos.
He is, and he's a Ducks fan as well, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Says which teams will drop from the playoffs next year and who takes their spot?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Montreal's not making the playoffs next year.
I said Montreal was going to be second last this year, and I was just fucking wrong. So I'm the wrong person to ask.
What about the Lightning? Do you think with what they've got to do and kind of?
They're not going anywhere. I mean, they've got contract issues, but they're still making the playoffs.
Yeah,
there's too much talent there.
Yeah.
I was trying to be fancy, but
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fucking despise them. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows the puck was in 04. But
that's a tough question.
Lightning's not going anywhere. Vegas isn't going anywhere. Boston not going anywhere.
No,
Pittsburgh,
their ship is good.
Pittsburgh won the East, right? So Pittsburgh's not going anywhere.
I think Pittsburgh could drop. I mean,
I think they might drop, but I mean to drop 4 places to be out.
You think Winnipeg might drop?
I think the North Division was so goddamn weak that it's a coin flip.
Yeah,
that's a good show. I was thinking Winnipeg might be a team that could drop.
But like everyone says it's their defense, but like I went and like watching all those.
I don't mind the defense.
Josh Morrissey. He gained a fan with his defensive stick. Like he gained a massive fan. I'm a huge Josh Morrissey fan now because of
he's
watching
awesome,
defensive stick.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I like him. I don't know. That's a really difficult question because obviously the Avs ain't going nowhere. As you mentioned, the Lightning ain't going nowhere. The Bruins ain't going nowhere.
I could see the Bruins dropping.
Yeah,
I can see the Bruins dropping
so.
as well.
I don't think so. With Taylor Hall in there now, I don't think
have
so,
the
guys.
perfection line.
With Taylor Hall in there,
is probably going to resign, but we don't know for sure.
Hey,
but
talk about hemorrhaging money. Taylor Hall. Let's not get into it.
Well, he did that with Buffalo, but then he was well worth the contract when he got to Boston. Yeah. So,
what about good Lord, goes? I don't know. I mean, the Islanders are growing.
I could see the Oilers dropping.
The Oilers.
I can see the Oilers dropping.
I think the Oilers will drop. Yeah, that's a good show.
I can see the Wild dropping too. Right, Minnesota might not make it.
There you go, Minnesota. Yeah, that's a good show. I don't think Minnesota.
They do the Calgary thing where they make it 1 year, then they don't the next, then they do the next.
Yeah.
So
Minnesota.
I would. My heart and brain says the Islanders, but I mean, since Tavares left, they proved everybody wrong.
Right? No, I think the Oilers. I think the Oilers have a. I find after the last show, I really watched the Islanders really, really closely. That's a good Lord. They do have something about them, don't they? It's like
they do, and I mean, I'm really hoping they get past the Lightning. I mean, how cool would I doubt it too, and I doubt that the Habs are going to get past Vegas either. But I mean, how cool would a Montreal Islanders final be?
That's a series you'll never get any other year for a finals.
Ever. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
So we've spent the entire season bitching and moaning as a fan base that Calgary doesn't have the heart, that they don't go after it as hard as you'd like them to.
You mean we've done that this season or the last 10?
I'm just saying this season.
Since Gio took over captain? Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Then you go and you look at the Islanders. Their captain is hurt. Johnny Oduya's on the LTIR, but he's completely gone.
Yeah.
They had freaking Leo Komarov on their wing, on their top line wing, but the whole team plays together. They play as a team. They play hard as fuck. They all go to the corners. They all get pucks back. The best guy on the team in Matthew Barzal, he'll go to the corner just as easy as Leo Komarov does and get the puck and make something out of it and grind the other team into submission. That's Sutter hockey, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But do we have those players? I don't know.
Well, guess what?
It's right now. No, we don't.
The Islanders are not going anywhere in the playoffs.
There is one man that can get those players, and that needs to ensure that those players are there this year, because there is one man that is literally on his last legs in Calgary. And if we're here next year and we're still talking about fucking Brad Treliving,
I thought you were going with Derek Ryan. I think we could maybe sign him again for $1 million.
Hey, Derek is fine. Hey, give Derek Ryan the fucking GM role. He can probably do a better job. But I mean, if we're here, if Brad does not make the moves in this offseason, let's be realistic, guys.
Well, he needs to shake up the core, right? And I'm
this
sure
is his last chance. This is his last chance, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe
that's
maybe.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he should have gone 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But what a lot of people just don't really fully understand or think about is our ownership group is I'm gonna pretend I'm nice and say frugal. No, they're fucking cheap, and they will not pay for a top quality GM.
Then they need to sell.
Hey.
Well,
yeah, and it's been like that since day one. Always.
It has been like that since day one, but
we've also. All I'm saying is, if Brad Treliving goes missing next season, it's nothing to do with a guy from Ireland.
Right. Hey, can I see your passport for a quick second? Just want to check stamps.
Absolutely not.
So
all we are is dust in the wind, my friend.
Yeah.
By the way, everyone for watching, and all 4 of those questions were great, and we
Yeah, they were
great chat out of it for sure.
Yeah. I don't think we've actually solved any problems with any of our takes, but the questions.
There's too many.
and to be honest, I wish that the people that are watching, I wish they would do stuff like that more often. Ask questions. Post it on YouTube, right? Just
there's a huge comment section down below. It's not as huge as we'd like it, so just
say what you want. Say what you want, and we will respond.
Oh yeah. Call us whatever you want. Ask us questions. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Call me a dickhead. If you're Giordano's family, who the fuck is that Irish guy talking about Gio? Hey, hit us. Willing to respond.
So we have one more quick segment left. Quickish segment left.
Quickish? Do we know what that means?
Yeah.
Oh, it's mountain talk.
Okay, so we all came up with a wish list. I'm not sure how many points you guys have, but I did a quick one. I just did 3 off-season things that I'd like the Flames to do, and not. You know what? I don't think we talked about it. The 3 of us have talked about it at all, but I would be willing to bet that out of the 9 possible, like if we each had 3, out of the 9 possible ones, I'd be willing that there's only like 3 different ones because we all want the same shit.
Right.
But
why don't you go first?
I was gonna say, why don't you go first?
No, you go first.
All right. Well, I can do that. I would like, number 1, we need to seek out a legit top line winger or center and then move Elias Lindholm to whichever other side that is. That's my number
I have
1.
a way to achieve that.
I'm going to applaud that, Dylan.
I have a way to achieve that when it comes to my turn.
Okay. So, and I'm going to move on to number 2 here in a second, but a lot of people are going to say, I'm thinking Eichel. Yeah, sure. I'm thinking Eichel would be great. Don't get me wrong. But there are other first line players who fit what we need. There's Gabriel Landeskog. Is he going to re-sign in wherever the fuck he is in Colorado? Probably. But he's going to hit unrestricted free agency in a couple weeks if he's not already re-signed. There's Tampa Bay is going to need to get rid of one of those huge contracts. They're going to need to.
Point. So I'm looking at Point.
Get one of those guys. If you can make a trade work, get one of those guys. We got some prospects. We got quite a few picks in the next couple of years. I'm sure we could make something happen around the league somewhere.
Yep.
Like Ash said, there's Ovechkin, probably not, but who knows? I'm Taylor Hall hater number 1, but he's unrestricted. There's a good pool of unrestricted players, and we need a top line player.
Yeah.
Number 2, shake up the core, whether that means Monty, Johnny, Giordano. I wouldn't be happy if it was Matthew Tkachuk, but it could be Backlund. Somebody who's been around for a while, who's part of the leadership core, needs to move on, if not 2. And number 3, a backup goalie who can take 25 plus away from Mr. Markstrom because he plays way too much.
I got a guy next year.
So
free. Laurent Brossois.
I like it.
Yep.
Laurent Brossois.
Yep.
Oh yeah. The only problem with bringing in a backup that can play the 25 plus games, Setter's still not going to play them 25 plus games.
Yeah, but I think Laurent Brossois is good. He plays like 30. I think he plays generally like 30 plus. and he's got.
I see where you're going with that, Chris, but
yeah, I think he'd be the guy.
I don't know if Sutter sees what happened with. I mean, in the past, he's had Jonathan Quick, who could take 60, 70 games. He's had Kiprusoff, who could take 60, 70 games.
Yeah, that's fair. Good. That's a good point.
Take that, right?
Yeah.
And if you saw what happened last year and how the Flames tired him the fuck out, maybe that should be on this list. Whether it's Riddick, fuck, I'd love to get Riddick back.
Totally.
Get a pick.
Yeah, sign him again, 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Whoever else, like.
Yeah, but does David want to come back and play backup? I mean, after what happened to him in Toronto, I suspect he's kind of understanding that unless he proves himself somewhere, he's going to be a backup.
Yeah.
Right. So hopefully.
Anyways, what's your guys'
like
wish list?
All right, who's going? You or me?
Well,
let's finish. We'll finish it off with Mr. Kelly.
No, let's finish it off with you. You're the best, so let's finish it off with you. If you are Mr.
I've got nothing. I was working all day. I mean, I've got a couple of points.
No, I think you should finish off because I think that'd be the best way to finish the show because I think the Flames fan, you've got that beautiful man cave there. You know things that we don't.
I've actually turned it into my bedroom as well. I just stay down here all the time.
Good man. I would do.
Either I'm down here or I'm outside barbecuing.
Is that by choice or?
I'm saying by choice.
We're not going to say that live on air.
Anyways,
yeah.
No, I agree.
Decision was made.
I actually did have. I looked at a number of goalies. That was one of my. My things that I would like to see is to have a genuine backup goalie. And Brossois was one that I came up with purely from looking at because it would have been easy for me to look at the likes of Holtby's and stuff like that and look at Elliott from, the usual names that would come up. Like, I don't think the likes of an Elliott who looks like he's already on the way out from looking at what he done this season. I don't think he would.
I mean, I don't think he's allowed back in Calgary.
No, yeah. I don't think so either.
Probably not. Exactly.
No, that was a pretty rough last game.
Yeah. That's true.
Pretty rough. I was in the building. There was
really?
a lot of yelling. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
A lot of yelling.
Well,
I thought Brossois, just looking at his numbers and looking at the way he plays, I like how he goaltends.
I think that's a good choice. I like that actually.
Yeah,
I like that too.
He releases the puck quick as well.
Probably.
Yeah, I like him. And he's you get him on a good salary as well. He's 29 years old.
Probably like 2 or less.
Yeah, he's 29 years old as well, so he's still relatively.
He's in his prime.
Oh, absolutely.
That's his prime. Goalies don't hit their prime till 30, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It appears.
So that was my first one. So I was glad Dylan brought that up. My second was actually kind of going on what Dylan was saying, shaking up the core. And for me, shaking up the core means making those hard decisions. I know that these hard decisions aren't going to be made, which really kind of infuriates me. Once again, I'm sick of the Flames fans, always just going on that one or two players. And like I said, that's why I call out Gio on this show. It's not because I hate Gio as a human being. Absolutely not. I think Gio is a great guy. I love the fact that he has been a great Flames captain, and I love 2 seasons ago, as Dylan mentioned earlier off air, different story, you know what I mean? I'm not even having this conversation, but when I watch a lot of he gets way too much ice time now. I think we could manage him so much better if we minimized his ice time.
Let's give him 13 minutes a night. That's it.
Yeah, and then you know what I mean. I'm all about those long shots.
And then he's going to be productive again.
Absolutely.
Like,
not as a captain. Not as a captain.
Yeah, he's in incredible shape for his age.
Yeah,
he's still that age.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He's got to be worried.
And you know what? People are,
unless it's a goalie who's got your cap.
You what?
That was
I said that was kind of a dig at Luongo, but I said I don't think anyone like I don't think taking the captaincy away from somebody and then still having them on the team is
that's not cool.
Unless it's
no.
Yeah. If he's not on,
that's not a good look.
Yeah. Well, then you know what? In the world of snowflake feelings, then fucking don't play him. It's very simple because he's not captain material, in my opinion. We're talking about a team.
It's got to be one of those things where Conroy gave it to Iginla, right? It has to be one of those situations.
Yeah, well, we're talking about a thing. Yeah, no, I understand, but we are talking about wanting to change the culture. If we don't change the culture, and we just keep talking about his poor feelings. I mean, there's not much more here for him.
You know what? I don't give a fuck about his feelings. The problem you'll have is it'll separate the room, right? Yeah. I don't care about his feelings.
He's already.
It'll 100% separate.
You know what I mean? He's already had a hand.
Has he though?
Well, I mean,
I just don't necessarily think he's a great leader. I don't think he's necessarily separated the room.
If he was a great leader, then he would have literally nipped that shit in the bud straight off the bat.
Sure.
And come out.
I agree.
Because I'll tell you what, this is the difference sometimes with hockey and football. Sometimes hockey, it's a man sport, and I get that. You know what I mean? But sometimes in football over here, you'll get a leader like a captain come out and say, "This is fucking bullshit." You know what I mean? When the papers are coming out and talking about certain narratives within locker rooms.
Nobody ever said that didn't happen.
No, exactly.
Nobody ever said that it did happen.
But if it didn't happen, then you would have had a leader, as in your captain, who should be your spokesperson for the team. That's my understanding as what a captain does. You know what I mean? And come out and say, this is complete bullshit. Instead, what you got with the Flames all year was, it all starts next week, and it's going to be great, and I'm just happy to be here, and Sutter's great, and it was complete bullshit all fucking year long.
Yeah, I honestly don't think he should ever be talking to the media because it's the same rehearsed bullshit. I hate it.
I personally want
zero emotion, just yeah.
But I'm just giving my opinion on it, and I don't think I don't think Gio should be. As I said,
I don't think he should be the captain either. I honestly don't.
No, I don't.
But I didn't think he should have been the captain 4 years ago either.
And I'll be honest, people expect me to say that captain should be Lucic. I personally think Tanev is fucking captain material. I think he is without a shadow of a doubt.
But
the whole season,
I just don't think
ribs.
stripping it. I don't think making that's like Chris said. I think it might separate the room.
Good.
It might. It might light a fire under Giordano's ass. It could very well do that, but at his age, I doubt it. But it might. You know what? It might make him rethink and retire. Who knows?
Good.
But I don't think that ever stripping the captaincy. Like, do you think Landeskog should ever be the captain over there? No, fucking if this was a thing, then they would have McKinnon as a captain years.
Well, guess what?
Years
they got further.
Ago.
They've got. When's the last time that Flames have been in the position that Landeskog and the Avs are?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Like you won't be able to attract players to come here if you're gonna just publicly shame your players.
No, right? I'm not saying publicly shame. What I'm saying is,
well, that's exactly what it would be. If you rip the fucking captain see off his jersey, you might as well have just brought him out and put him at City Hall and done it live stream.
The best thing to do then is until he retires, let's just accept mediocrity, because that's what's going to happen.
Well, I agree.
Because that's where we're at right now.
100%. I agree with you. Our team has zero fucking heart. They have zero fucking give a shit. And it all started when started when Iginla became a member of another team, and we gave that captain to Gio. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying he should be the captain or should have been the captain all this time, because I honestly don't think he should have been ever. I'm just saying you don't rip it off his chest.
No, I get you.
I mean, you can take him aside, outside of the room, and say, "Look, here's where we're at," and make him be the guy in the room that go, "You know what? Here you go." But you can't take it from him in front of the guys.
This is where I'm at a loss. Then this is where I'm at a loss. We want to change the culture. We want to shake up the core. We want to change all these things. But then you've got, so if something happened in the locker room, because we know something did, so say wherever it came from, let's not point the fingers of blame at anyone. Okay?
We have no idea where it came from, but we also know who didn't deal with it.
Exactly. Yeah. Where's the fucking leadership?
And I am 100% in agreement with you on that. 100%. Yeah. Maybe, and I am 100%. I am 100% in agreement that he shouldn't be the captain.
Yeah. I know. But what I'm saying is, I don't know what Flames fans want. They want the culture.
But you also have to think that you're dealing with fucking kids right now, and the way that they think, and the way that their feelings matter more than anything in the world. They're not going to receive that well. They will not. So
tell me, I'm going to pass this over. How do we change the culture then, instead of just using it as one of those throwaway lines that we constantly do? So we're going to keep Gio as captain. So he's just going to be able to do what he wants every week and just shoot and just play.
No, how you change the culture is you get rid of the soft, quiet little weed smoker Monahan. Let him go.
Sure. Okay? I'm with you.
You bring in somebody, whether he's vocal or not, I don't give a shit.
He is definitely weed smoker.
Isn't. But he walks around with an A on his jersey and does fucking nothing for it. Nothing.
Yep. I'm with
you. You give an extra 14 feet on the leash of Chucky. You let him go on the ice, become that shit disturber. You let him do whatever the hell he wants for 10 games.
Yep.
And get the team going. Fuck yeah. Yep. Here we go.
Yep.
You let Luch. You say, Luch, I want to see you fight every second game for the first 10 games. I want you in 5 fights the first 10 games at the beginning of the season. Let's set the culture in this fucking room. If you come to Calgary, you're going to pay a price. Yeah, you're going to hurt if you come to Calgary. If you come to the Dome, you're walking out with crutches. You're walking out with Band-Aids. You're walking out bloody.
But you also tell Gio to do
That's how you change a culture.
You also tell
tell Gio to do it too. 100%.
I want to see you.
But he doesn't have to be the guy at the forefront of it.
No.
Everybody else can be the guy at the forefront of it. But he just kind of sits there and fades out of his career.
Yeah, but when I see Chillington get fucking absolutely physically assaulted with a shoulder.
Chillington should go play in the KHL. Yeah, I'm tired of hearing his name.
I agree.
He needs to fuck off.
But
I'm tired of watching him on the ice.
But that's the point. That's the point I'm making, Chris. I'm just saying, I don't want to see Valimaki trying to get into a ridiculous fight with someone. I want to see my fucking leader, my captain, go.
Yeah.
And take
That's right. But I think what will happen is that sort of mentality, it will become contagious, right?
Yes.
It'll get Gio in there and be like, you know what? It's rallying the troops. The guys are going. Let's freaking go.
Was Eberle ever a grinder? Was Eberle ever a heart and soul type of a player in Edmonton? No, he wasn't. He went to a team that plays for each other, and now he's that type of player. Like, he's still a scorer, but he's a heart and soul guy now because of the culture around him.
That's right. Yeah,
I agree Giordano shouldn't be captain. I just don't think that taking it away from him without it being his own choice is not the correct.
Well, okay. Well, maybe
you just allow the rest of the team to become that.
Maybe a conversation in the offseason with coach and player be like, do you believe that you are leading this team the way I feel, and you feel that this team needs to be led? You know what I mean? There is ways of management. Yeah. I'm not saying, and in fairness, Chris, you got me at that. No, Chris got me at that point, and I agree with that. I have too much respect for Gio to say you publicly shame him. Absolutely not. Yeah. But if you have those conversations and say, do you believe that you're more of a leader, say, than Lucic? Or do you believe that you're more of a leader than Tanev? You know what I mean? Or do you believe you're more of a leader than Tkachuk when Tkachuk is allowed to do what he wants to do? Do you believe that you can do a better job than them? Or do you think maybe it's time that you maybe pass it on to someone else of your own accord.
Exactly.
What
or prove it to us over the next 10 games that we.
That's right.
Or
absolutely.
Now, here's me, a fucking non-coach, and I know the psychology of that conversation, and say, and Dylan, I'm glad you said that. Or if you don't believe that that's what's right for the team, then show me. I want to see you waiting there.
Yeah.
I want to see you waiting there for fucking, this dickhead the next time he hits one of your teammates. I want to see you waiting there to
if somebody's stabbing at Markstrom or if somebody's cross-checking Valimaki, get your ass in there.
Get straight in, because we know he can fight.
Be there, be the leader. He's tough. Exactly. He's tough as hell.
So,
right? He can
show me. You know what I mean? And
that's
100%. So we're all in agreement on this. Also, I just wanted to throw in one last on my third. Just a quick one was I Sam Reinhart. I've been doing a lot of studying in Sam Reinhart. I like Sam Reinhart as a center. I also like him as a right. But I think Sam Reinhart is a really, really good player that could, if we could get him in, that's where you can look at potentially filling a couple of positions in. That could be a top line center.
Yep.
I'm not a huge Sam Reinhart guy. I do think that he can improve the top six for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as good as people like to say he is.
That's fair.
But I mean, really, in reality, nobody's as good as they should be in Buffalo.
Yeah, but in no way am I saying Sam Reinhart's a bad player. He might be the fit the Flames need. Who knows? But that's a good shout, because he'll be a secondary thought for Kevin Adams, who's the GM of Buffalo, over the next couple of weeks at least. And if we can take advantage of that, maybe and go 100%. After him, we need a solidified top six, and that's it.
No, I agree. He's actually part of my my list as well.
So go on.
So to carry on the Geo thing, because he was on the very first line of my list. Expose him for the draft, let him go.
Yeah.
If he gets picked up, I don't think he necessarily will. I mean, he's a proven winner. He's a great player.
I think he's perfect.
Undrafted, all that fun stuff, right?
I think Seattle would be crazy not to take him.
Exactly, 100%. They need somebody that's been in the fire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's on top of my wish list. Expose him. Seattle takes him. Then we don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yep. And then we can put
second thing
we want.
Then we can move on. Yeah.
That's right. And then we never have to have this conversation again.
Yeah.
So then secondary on my list, I have obviously the core breakup, right? We need to either sign or trade Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny needs to be signed this summer. If he's not signed, he needs to go.
I agree.
Because we don't want to lose him to nothing at the end of the year. We may be able to get him at the trade deadline at the end of the year for something juicy, but it's too much of a long shot.
He's too big an asset to allow.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Career,
yeah, 100%. So if you can get that contract done, perfect. If you can't, gone.
Do something.
And I was honestly
Ian's point of making the hard choices.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah, and they all know it, right? They all know that he's, if he's not going to even talk contract right now, he's not coming back at the end of it.
Exactly, and that's the hard choices that and I'm glad Dylan brought that up. That's what I meant by that. We need leadership. Like Brad needs to show us this year why he's the guy. Brad can turn this around in one fucking season and have us all go, boom, there you go.
That's right. The second thing, third thing on my list here is Monahan. I honestly think it's time to cut bait with him.
Me too.
He's had in his career so far, he's had 3 or 4 years where by the end of it we discovered that he's got broken. He needs surgery on his wrist. He needs surgery here. Don't get me wrong.
That's a really hot topic though. I think that it's somewhere between great quality to have to want
100%. That's right.
And really bad quality to have because you want to win so bad that you don't realize you got to get this dealt with right fucking now.
Well, that and I mean, let's be honest, a not 100% Sean Monahan hurts the team. Period. If he's not at 100%, if he's not at 100%, it hurts the team.
Yep. Agreed.
Like he's floating around, he's ineffective because he's not a hitter. He's not a hitter. He's not a grinder. He's not a playmaker. So if he can't shoot, he shouldn't be on the ice.
If his wrists or hip are broken, then you put anybody else in the slot who can actually pull the trigger when they get the puck instead 100%. Of hurting the get it.
I agree. I
feel bad for Sean. I feel bad for Sean. I think he's going to be one of those players that's going to have to really kind of look at retirement earlier than he would want to.
I think so too. Yeah. And I like, I'm not saying I don't like Sean at all, right? Like, yeah. I mean, Sean's a good guy. You know, he's been a great player for us. Yeah. He's never been a number one center that we put him into, but you know, just given the role, he's done it admirably. I have no bones to pick with him. What's that? Sorry.
There was a couple years he was my favorite player on the team.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he was never mine, but I can see why he would be.
Me too. No, he was mine as well, Chris, to be fair.
Yeah. And it's not that I don't like Monahan. It's that I think it's time, you know, like there would be better choices out there, whether it be free agency or from within or whatever. And where he fits on the depth chart just doesn't fit our team anymore. And
that's right.
Unfortunately, his injury problems, like, you know, maybe he'll figure that out. Wrong way of saying that. You know, who knows?
Like, I do honestly believe, and I know this is going to sound stupid. This isn't the Bobby Ryan thing, like, so nobody hit me with Bobby Ryan and big player. But I honestly do believe at this moment in time, if you got someone like, and I've mentioned it a couple of times because I believe it fits Daryl's system on a third line. I honestly believe someone like a Getzlaf will do far more for us over the course of the season. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do.
And that could change so
that would change the culture, right?
Exactly. I've never been on this Getzlav thing that you're on, and you know, not that I don't like Getzlav. I think Getzlav's a fucking.
But Getzlav likes to fucking fight as well, too, you know.
And he'll fight. Yeah. But that culture that a guy like Ryan Getzlav brings, it's the reason why the Ducks want to keep him and only him around. It's why they traded Corey Perry and traded all these other guys. They're in a rebuild and they trade everybody but this guy because this guy is a leader and he can help these young guys figure it the fuck out.
Gentlemen, I apologize. I need to attend to something quickly.
You're starting
to be right back.
Why I'm talking about the culture so much, you know what I mean? And in terms of while Chris has gone there, Dylan, you understand where my mind is at now, because I'm looking at like, how do you bring people in that can actually bring that mentality? To go, right, this is what we do. It's not all about physically fighting, you know what I mean? Like, dropping the gloves. It is about that, and it isn't, but it's about fighting for every single puck, you know what I mean? And, because Daryl likes third and fourth lines, as we know.
Yeah.
He likes to give them minutes. He likes to make sure that they're as strong as anyone else. And
they should be.
Yeah. And that's why I'm talking about these players. So in fairness, I'm glad you can see what I'm trying to. I see
where you're going with that. I also think that I don't know what his contract's at, but it's definitely not worth his production anymore. But you know, if we're talking about Monahan not being a third line player, is Getzlav not a third line player who's much older, much slower, but he's a better leader.
And you probably get him for less money for a year or two. You know what I mean? I
thought you meant trading.
You what?
I thought you meant trading for him.
Oh, no, because he's on a free this year.
Oh, is he a free agent this year?
He's free this year, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was talking about trading. Getzlaff is actually on a free this year. That's why I was mentioning him, because I was looking at
Okay.
who's on the free agency. So Getzlaff is actually on a free. So you're taking fucking half the salary off you if you get rid of
Okay.
Monahan. So you're
Yeah.
bringing the salary cap down. Oh, I've thought about this.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
you know,
Like I like the leadership qualities. I'm not sure about the speed anymore.
even Stahl is on
Um,
a fucking free this year as well. You know what I mean? Like guys like that.
yeah.
You know, it's
You need leadership, but at the same time, you need those spots taken up by Adam Rosiska
well,
and
that's
Glenn.
where I'm thinking for the fourth line. That's where I'm thinking Matthew Phillips and Rosicka. That's where I'm thinking the fourth line. I mean, personally, I think Matthew Phillips. I know he's a center, but he's like what 5'5". You know what I mean? He's a small
Oh
guy.
yeah.
I think
He impressed me though. The one game he's played,
yeah, but I like him, and he's a Calgary boy as well. But I'd like to see
and
him.
he's falling on his ass all the time, just like Mangiapane. But he's trying really fucking hard.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna see him as a winger type deal. I don't think if
Okay.
you're bringing someone like an Adam Rosicka up, I think you're looking at Adam Rosicka as your center. I would
Yeah.
personally like to see Adam Rosicka as the fourth line center next year. I know Glenn Godin he's a little bit older as well than Adam
Yeah.
Rosicka.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think they've all been. Rosiska's actually kind of youngish, I think, but
oh,
they've all just
he's
been.
only 22. I think he's only gone 22. Yeah.
Yeah. And they've all been together. All of these players we're talking about here, they've all been together in the minors for so long. They have chemistry. So
Yeah.
bring a few of them up at the same time. Play them all.
Dude,
Play them all.
you got Glenn Godin and Rosicka, who I watched a couple of, because when Stephen King, who was, of course, the godfather of the Flames Up, shout out to you, Stephen. I went and tried to watch some of the highlights this year of the Stockton Heat, and I was watching the interplay between Rosicka and Godin is absolutely really, really cool.
Yeah.
They can both
have
play
some
on the
good
right
vision.
wing and they can both play center.
Yeah.
And we could do with that in our fourth line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, aren't they both listed as center / right wing?
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty sure, right?
And Matt Phillips as well. Matthew Phillips also.
Mm-hmm.
I think Phillips.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing both those guys being called up just to play on that fourth line. Like, why not?
Me too. Me too. That's what I'm saying. Fucking
what are we going to pay him? $7.25, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and
obviously Brad needs to not bring players in to pay $1 million to play on the top line.
Yeah, we don't need any more of these.
We need to quit that experiment.
We don't need any more of these Simons or fucking Nordstroms or anything like that. Look.
Yeah, I don't think he ever brought those guys in to play on the first line. I just think the team was so terrible the first half of the year that he had no fucking choice but to try something.
No, you're right, Dylan. But what I'm saying is, there's no need for doing that when you've got somebody down there that can do that same job. I mean, Eric Simon done absolutely nothing this year and ended up playing fucking 0 minutes. You know what I mean?
He didn't play the last half of the season.
Cup of coffee in the big time is what he had for like a day. You know what I mean?
But he was put into the top line within like 7 games.
I know, and done absolutely nothing. That was the worst line of one of the worst lines.
Trade off between him and Levo, right?
Yeah.
What's going on here? Surely
he's the only one that really takes out of the lot, to be honest with you. If you were going to keep any of them, I think Levo would be the only one. But even at that, I would
100%. I'd be okay with Levo at 950,000 to play on our fourth line. I'd be perfectly okay with that.
I would be okay with that too, personally.
For the third line, you need those so you can spend on your top two lines.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I would be okay with Levo.
Top line, Richie, their prospects come in and played that good.
Richie would be okay. I mean, upon reflection, I look at Richie. He done the job that Sutter wanted him to do.
I like what Richie brings. I honestly do. Given the proper role and the proper line mates, I think he could be.
He shouldn't play with Monahan and
No, not at all.
No.
He looked like a deer caught in the headlights out there.
He's got a lot of heart, although he knocked Cara the fuck out, and I'll never forget that. That was
That's the I think it was his first game with Sean and Johnny, or it might have been the second. I can't remember, but I remember watching him on one shift, and 4 times in that one shift he stopped and stood still, looking left and right, wondering what he should do. It's like, good God, get him off that line.
There's no communication, dude. That's the problem. There's no communication. It's like Johnny knows what he can do. Johnny is Johnny Hockey. He can do it.
Well, and that's just it. So
he doesn't communicate either. He just hopes people get into the right spot. We don't.
But that's okay though. But that's okay, because great players like that, you see the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi do it.
Just get open.
You see McKinnon do it. You see Gretzky do it. They operate on a level that people need to be where they are, and I'm sure they communicate that, before games and in training. But Johnny is there a guy that, like, what I'm gonna do, so you need to be there and at least ready for it. You know what I mean? I don't need to shout at you what I'm gonna do.
So Johnny needs a guy.
Sorry,
there's a game on. It's an hour in.
Yeah, it's an hour in. But my point is, I'm gonna go with Pietrangelo and Theodore. They're on the ice at the same time. The play stops. They come in and talk to each other. They point at their teammates. They point where they want their teammates to go. They communicate. Calgary players don't fucking do that. You're
in the play beforehand. Yeah.
Once the play stops,
they just Gaudreau, bless him, he's fucking fantastic to watch sometimes. But he goes and doesn't talk. Monahan goes and doesn't talk, and they just hope that the player gets to the spot where they need to pass to. They don't talk about it. They create the play.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean, Dylan, to be honest with you, and I can see how passionate you are about it. I mean, I think you're
not very passionate. You should probably kick me off the show.
No, I think you're very fucking passionate about it. I think one of the things.
I mean, if you don't put your guns away, you will be.
I think one of the things about it is the Pelican show, is it?
Yeah.
It's freaking hot, man. We gotta sign off here in a second, because I gotta go stand in front of the freezer for 15 minutes.
He's gotta go. He's gotta go flex those Pelicans. Show the Pelicans.
Yeah, we know. We know the wife's just waiting for you to come back in the room with the gun show, the smoke show. Yeah, that's a segment stopper right there, right? Mm-hmm. Silence from all three is beautiful. So, Dylan, you're absolutely right. There is no communication, and since you brought that up, I've been trying to think of who the last great communicator was that you can visually see talking with the guys on the bench, doing what you're saying, and I honestly can't think of one.
Al McInnes.
No.
Right?
You know what?
It goes that far back.
So, Ian posted on Flames Hub earlier today asking who people's top 5 Flames of all time
Which you guys are going to get the chance to come on the show and tell us why. Yeah.
Yes. 2 of mine, in no particular order, by the way, are 2 guys who I actually remember doing that a lot, Chris. And that is Robin Regier and Alex Tanguay.
Yes.
I remember that they always...
And Camilleri, same thing, right?
What's that?
Camilleri, same thing. Camilleri, always.
Yep.
If they would cut to the bench, they're always talking, always communicating. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's been, God,
6,
how long
7,
has it been?
8 years.
Damn it, you're getting old.
Jokinen would do that too.
Yeah, but I think he was just whining about stuff, though, wasn't he?
Oh, probably. Who knows?
What is it about this team, then? Realistically, what is it about this team? Because I can see what you're saying, and a lot of people can see it. You look at them, and they're just there. They're holding the sticks. They're waiting for the shift. Like,
well, it's because it all comes down to that passion, right? They're there to collect a paycheck,
and that starts at the top. That starts at the
right. They haven't had that fire that has been lit under their ass to get them moving. And honestly, I think Daryl can do that.
Daryl,
Obviously, he needs.
yeah.
Yeah, but he needs to pick how he does it with each individual guy. I get that nowadays. That's way.
Well, he's getting
And
it from Johnny.
also
He's
with
getting it
guys
from
you can
Johnny.
do that with, because there's some guys you can't do that with,
Right.
unfortunately.
That's right.
Well,
But I mean, like I said a couple of episodes ago. I mean, I'm the first to admit that I honestly thought Johnny was going to fall apart once Daryl
he got
showed
it
up,
out
and he
Johnny.
was one of the
Me too.
one of the only players that truly,
Thrive.
got to that next level. Like, I was like, holy shit, I was blown away.
Straight up thrived under Sutter, and I don't know how or
Yeah.
why. I still don't understand it.
I don't-
You know what?
I really want to know what that conversation was. I really want to know.
It showed me that he had fucking heart, because
Right.
at first, when Daryl said, "Well, hopefully, hopefully his 500 game,
Hopefully his 500 is better than his 499. Yeah.
and Johnny came out and said, "Yeah, well, Johnny came back and had a bit of venom, and back in his response."
did.
But I
That
would say
that seemed a lot more snarky than I'm going to be better than I was. That just seemed fuck this guy.
But I have a feeling that Daryl kind of went.
Yeah, totally.
I would say Daryl, as because I've always been into coaching over here in a different sense. I've always liked the idea of coaching, in football, and it all lends itself because it's all psychological. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're dealing with players that you want to get to perform to a certain level, and I think what happened there was that Daryl saw that reaction, and instead of people going, the idiots, the idiot journalists would have went, "Oh, this isn't going to work."
Johnny wants out.
Yeah. But I would say Daryl kind of went, "This is exactly the reaction I wanted. Right?
Mhm.
Show me that
Oh,
fucking passion.
Maybe.
Come at me, brother. You know what I mean? Punch me in the face if you want. That's what I want.
Prove me wrong.
That you got something worth talking about, and then we'll go from there.
Prove me wrong."
That's
And I think I'd say that's when the relationship between Daryl and Johnny went boom. People expect
It seemed to because he played a hell of a 500 game. Right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. And then he played a fucking hell of a game every game thereafter.
Very
And
much.
Yeah, he was shooting the puck again. Shooting the puck.
dude,
Johnny's
his
shooting the puck.
trajectory, if you look at his trajectory this season, it would have been on for a 90-point season without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it would have been.
Yeah, if you look at his last 15 games, for sure.
Yeah. And that's in a team with shit, as Dylan mentioned. Shit. He had no center, bar when obviously Lindholm went up there. He had a proper two-way forward with two-way center.
Well, and that's where Monahan becomes expendable, right?
Yes.
When obviously Johnny and Sean were dropped down a line.
Yeah.
And then Johnny was brought back up, but Sean wasn't. It just shows that one person is putting in the effort to get back up there, and one person's not. I mean, granted, he was injured, but I get that. But
he had some
decent.
Sean. To be fair, just so it's not the anti-Sean, the anti-Sean Monahan show. Sean did have some good games down on the second line with Mange and Dubé. They did have some.
Yeah.
He did contribute to that line.
Those are two guys that drive play.
Exactly, and that probably suited Money. But the one thing that you expect from Money, at the very, very minimum, is shoot the fucking puck, and we didn't get that this year.
Yeah,
and
but also when you look at it, when he had his career year, he's playing with Lindholm and Johnny, who are also two guys that drive the play.
Yeah. But,
Johnny needs somebody that can be open, get themselves open and create space for Johnny. Sean can't do that. Never has been able to. It's not his thing.
No, he doesn't even find himself space. You know what? He used to be able to find himself space in the front of the net, but he can't do it anymore. He has it for 3-4 years now. But
exactly.
He definitely can't find space for anybody else.
There's no creativity anymore. No. Well, look, I think that's as far as we can go with this particular episode today until we. I
think this is a good episode.
It's been a hell of a good episode, and I think it's
been fun.
Awesome that fans have given us.
Let us know how bad we were in the comments below.
Yeah.
Bring it.
That's where we're going to go with this. So before we do kind of sign off and give our own individual appreciation for all you beautiful and ugly people out there that are listening to this show,
All y'all motherfuckers.
Oh, y'all motherfuckers. We don't hold any resentment. The first thing you got to do to find us is you need to go to the Dynamo Podcast Network. You need to go into the playlist section and you will find the Flaming Puck. And you will find all of our episodes in there. And what you really need to do is you need to like and subscribe under the Dynamo Podcast Network and hit that bell notification button. But what we need you to do, just like you have been doing, is comment on every single show that we do. Give us suggestions, give us your feedback, whether it be good, whether it be negative. We don't care.
Bring it on.
Just bring it. Because
if you have the ability, can somebody tag Brad in this? We'll bring him on the show and we'll ask him some questions.
Exactly. If someone can get Brad on, we need Brad Tree Living on. I'll be like, Brad, I've fucking said some horrible things about you. Tell me why I'm wrong. You know, it's no problem. Bring Gio on as well. But like, come on, Mickey. Yeah, I mean, guys, we really appreciate your support, and it is doing us a big solid if you like and subscribe to the channel. Like I say, there's lots of great stuff in there too. Hey, if you like pro wrestling, I've got pro wrestling shows in there. If you like horror, we've got horror movies in there. We've got everything you need. But if you're solely a Flame fan or you're solely a hockey fan, go and check it out. We're in there. We have our own individual playlist. You don't need to watch everything that's on the show. Or on the network, you can find the Flame.
What's the name of the show again?
It's called the Dynamo Podcast Network, and the name of this show is the Flaming Puck Podcast. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Hashtags.
Hashtags, baby. And if you can, please do, when you do follow our show, hashtag the Flaming Puck every single time you can.
Absolutely. Thanks for the great questions. That was a great episode.
Yeah,
and
the four really good questions and four very valid questions, all of them.
Great questions.
I like them.
I found it to answer some of them too, because we all did, didn't we? They definitely got us talking.
Except for Greg's. Greg's question was garbage.
Yeah.
Which one was Greg's? Oh, the handcuffing.
Pretty sure the handcuffing, right? No, I'm only kidding, Greg.
Yeah, well, maybe he should be handcuffed for fucking asking that question.
Yeah, fuck you, right? Greg. Ask us a better question next time.
Reach out. I've got this flag. It's just sitting right here.
Ask us a better question next time, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
Sake. Yeah. Where did your boy go? Where'd Nathan go at the end of that series? God damn it.
Yeah. All he does is
we're gonna watch the Knights again.
Making fun of me and my boy Lucci. Fuck off.
It's almost like freaking Nathan McKinnon doesn't realize that Halifax doesn't have an NHL team. He just wanted to.
Right?
You bring Nate, I'll bring Milan. We'll see what happens. You and me in the dusty road. Let's do it. Go and fight.
I'm bringing Bret Hart. He lives down the street.
Corral. Well, he's on my side too.
Don't need any of those. We got the gun show right here, baby.
He's got the gun show, so Dylan's going to be bringing the guns.
Hey, Ian, did you cut off the recording already, right? Please tell me you cut off the recording.
Oh hell no! This is still recording, baby. This is
lost fucking 30 followers.
This is the great stuff.
Yeah, we went from 208 to 175 in a second.
This is how you change the culture, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
So, no, but all joking aside, do follow us. We're gonna have a new Twitter handle soon as well. Just so you know, we're gonna have a Twitter handle soon, and we'll hopefully have an Instagram going too on top of that. So lots more to come from the Flaming Puck podcast. So for me, Ian Kelly, or Dylan Simpson, for Chris Ruback, boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. And until next week, where we will be giving you, the fans, your top 5 Flames of all time, we will catch you on the flip side.